The Trump campaign has not ruled out the possibility of Nikki Haley being his vice president for the 2024 election, of being his running mate, and that, of course, would be a disaster. I think anybody who listens to this show realizes that Nikki Haley is a full-blown neocon, worse than, in my opinion, even Dick Cheney, and that's hard to believe that I would think that, but I do. I think that she would be not only the worst possible presidential candidate, not only the worst possible Republican president, but she would be a horrible VP pick. And I expressed that view last week. Well, I'm not alone. Even Allyn Root, I was on his show last night, and he said that as much as he loves Trump, and he truly does legitimately love Donald J. Trump, and I think the feeling is mutual there, as much as he loves Trump, he would not be able to back a Trump-Haley ticket. Now we have the biggest voice in media of them all, Tucker Carlson, saying essentially the same thing. He went on with Tim Pool and the crew over at Timcast and said, I would not only not vote for the ticket, I would advocate against it as strongly as I could. Let's go ahead and play that video.
Would you vote for Trump if he chose Nikki as VP? And
would you guys vote for Trump? Well, that's the question that I asked you specifically.
Well, I would not only not vote for that ticket, I would advocate against it as strongly as I could.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's just poison. I mean, here's someone who's actively opposed to the interests of the country I grew up in, who endorsed the BLM riots, and who is not only is not left, but is neoliberal in the darkest, most, speaking of nihilistic way, and has no real popular support. Is a creature of the oligarchs. So yeah, that would be reason to oppose the ticket.
Even Trump, Haley is a no-go.
Nikki Haley,
he would get assassinated immediately if that were the case.
Yeah, and by the way, I just can't imagine a world where that could happen. That would be so crazy. I mean, anything could happen, of course, but picking Nikki Haley, who's utterly treacherous and utterly dismissive of like the interests of Americans. Yeah,
it's a no-go for me, but it's a yes for BlackRock.
So hopefully, Lord willing, that will put the nail in the coffin, that will eliminate any possibility of Nikki Haley being the VP choice for Donald J. Trump. He does obviously like and respect Tucker Carlson quite a bit. He would not want to not have Tucker Carlson in his corner. Maybe he would talk to him in private. Maybe he would try to talk him out of it if his plan really is to have Nikki Haley as his VP. Now, to be clear, I don't think that she's really a strong choice even for the Trump campaign. I don't think they're truly considering her. I think in many ways they might be playing a little bit of 4D election chess and saying, hey, you know what? Let's go ahead and sure, we're not going to rule her out. You know, maybe get her a little bit of support, or maybe get some people that would support her, but who might think, hey, well, I could also support Trump and at least she'd be VP and yada, yada, yada. I don't know what they're playing at, but I think that she would be, if she is even on the true list, she would be lower on the list. I think that the most likely candidate, unfortunately, is Kristi Noem, who I'm not a huge fan of. I think that I would like to see other choices. One of the people that both Tucker Carlson and Allyn Root had said that they would like to see as vice president would be Vivek Ramaswamy. Now, I've said it many times on my show. I don't trust the guy. I really don't. But I like the guy a lot. I do. I think that he's a cool guy. I don't want to see him as president, but I wouldn't mind seeing him in some degree of power. But there is the connection to the World Economic Forum. There is the connection to there is his past, where in a very recent past, where he was saying things that weren't exactly MAGA. So like I said, I don't trust him. I do like him. But here's the thing, and here's the one case that can be made for why a Vivek Ramaswamy VP position might not be so bad. I've said for years that it's ludicrous. It's absolutely stupid the way the vice presidents are picked by presidential candidates. They often pick somebody who's going to be kind of balance out the ticket. You don't need a ticket that's balanced. You don't want a ticket that's balanced. You want somebody who's like-minded, because here's the thing. If Trump wins the election, God forbid something happens to him and he's out of commission for however long, whoever the vice president is needs to come in and fulfill his agenda. That's the one major role of the vice president, is to be a continuation of our government, continuation of the administration, and that's why you want somebody who's like-minded. You don't want diversity within, and I'm not talking about racial diversity or anything else. I'm talking about ideological diversity. You don't want a ticket that has a staunch conservative and a moderate, for example, which seems to be always the case. If you got a moderate candidate, they try to pick a staunch conservative as if that staunch conservative is going to somehow influence the president. That's not how it works. Your ticket should be two like-minded people. That's how it should always be. not just in this case with Trump and Ramaswamy, but anytime you run a ticket, don't look for balance. Of course they do, because that's, for whatever reason, the American people generally believe that, oh, we want balance. We want somebody who's going to be, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. That's ludicrous. It's stupid. But unfortunately, that is the way the way we American voters tend to think. Reality is this: you want somebody who, if something were to happen to the president, the vice president is going to be able to hop in there and do exactly the same thing. The vice president should be able to fulfill the exact same agenda, which means the vice president needs to be extremely like-minded with the president. Vivek Ramaswamy seems to fit that bill. Of course, you could also say that Kari Lake might fit that bill better, but that's a discussion for another day. Thank you so much for watching that clip. If you want to see more of what I'm putting out there, the best place to do that is to go to jdrucker.com/rumble1. That's jdrucker.com/rumble1. I greatly appreciate posting these videos over Brighteon, over on the Liberty Daily's Rumble channel, which is fantastic, by the way. BitChute, Apple Podcasts, Spreely, and even on my original Rumble channel. But we have a new Rumble channel at jdrucker.com/rumble1. Okay, the number 1. That is where we're going to be putting everything that I do. It's the new home for Discern TV, and that's going to be the best place to subscribe. Please subscribe, that way that you'll be able to see everything that we're putting out, from big, small, whatever it is. We're going to be putting it at jdrucker.com/rumble1, and that's just a redirect to my new Rumble channel.